Forever. Dog.
But I have a whole series on my YouTube channel with the haunted doll where I went over like everything that was happening. Cause like she was moving around. She was like doing all sorts of funny little tricks.
She was moving around?
Yeah. But I'm like, it must have been my cat.
You are way too casual, dude.
She was doing all sorts of stuff.
What do you all sorts of stuff. Everything I learn about ghosts is against my will.
I don't have a pink shirt, but we had the same idea. I put on my brightest shirt, but I don't have anything pink, which is like, Ashley, look at the text that Max sent asking if we could hear her. She wrote, "You guys came harm me?"
I will say, on paper, my spelling has always been horrible, but usually autocorrect has
And
my
on
back
text,
when
also
I'm
bad.
texting.
Hello, everybody. This is the Chosen Family podcast.
It sure
Welcome.
is.
We're doing it up top because otherwise we just start talking and completely lose the plot. This is the Chosen Family podcast. We are your chosen family. Every week we sit down around the family dinner table and we talk about gay stuff because we're the gay family that you never had. I'm Alayna Joy and I'm your mom.
Oh my God. I'm your
What?
dad, Ashley Gavin.
I'm your odd teenage brother, Matt.
I met Big Daddy
Mac is
Benefactor.
baby. Oh my God. Right.
Oh my
He told
God.
me he was coming to your show.
He was so sweet.
Big Daddy Benefactor is so sweet.
No,
He
he's sweeter than you even know.
I've met him too, so I know he's pretty sweet.
You.
I know he's
I'm
pretty
the
sweet.
You always have to one up me. Where the did you meet Big Daddy Benefactor?
He's in.
If you don't know, listeners, Big Daddy Benefactor is straight,
Big
and he
Daddy, Daddy,
Big Daddy, Big Daddy Benefactor, sugar baby, I love him.
This is Elena's favorite thing that you do.
This is my favorite bit.
Wait, what?
Like
When you get like
porn
this and you do
voice.
the like
Big Daddy, Daddy, Daddy
when I pretend to be
Benefactor.
straight, femme, whatever.
I love it. Yeah, that's my
he
favorite.
is better than you. This man is straight, and he's donating so much money to our Patreon.
He is.
So I'm not gonna like compare you based on money, even though you are a poor little piece of shit. And Big Daddy Benefactor is not. He's full of money. He dives off he's like Scrooge. He dives off a diving board and just swims through his cash. And I'm in there, and I'm in a skimpy little bikini, and I'm floating on a little inner tube. And I say, "Oh, Big Daddy Benefactor, thank you for letting me swim in your pool of cash."
Okay.
Elena's pulling out the chair.
Yeah, because he's the one that that funded these little chairs that you guys see in the background, because it was his idea to have a chair for the cousins and a chair for the Patreon supporters, so
Well,
that
he's a
everybody has
sweetheart.
a chair at the dinner table.
And if you don't donate
he's a sweetheart.
one goddamn dollar, you can choose. Guys, you have to go in and look at the tiers, and then go to upgrade and go to what you can pick what you want to choose. It's like kind of hard to do, actually. I'm going to go in and I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. Here is how you...
But on my individual Patreon, we do a monthly group call, like a hangout. And he joins that sometimes. Not sometimes, actually most months. And then before that, I used to do one-on-one calls, and so he joined at that tier. So we met that way too. But yeah, he's a
so the
sweetheart.
way that it works is it says pay what you want, but then it says $3. All you have to do is hit join, and then you can change that number. So
yeah, and you can pay whatever.
If you can only afford $1, we totally understand. It's really helpful, and represent the gays, because the straights are kicking your ass, gays.
Yeah, Big Daddy Benefactor is kicking ass. Max, sorry, not sorry.
I'm the only one that hasn't met. I'm feeling a little left out.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about ghosts.
Look at you hosting.
Hey, I've started recording Sleeping Around now. It's so fun.
I can feel that in your energy.
And thank you. I think it's going well. I'm excited for it to launch, and I hope that people like it. Oh, I hope it is okay.
Alayna, you could put out slop for a pig and these little piglets would eat it up. Oink, oink, oink. Big daddy benefactor. I'm your little piggy. Give me your cash slop,
You were a little
daddy.
too quick with that, actually. Alarmingly fast with that one.
was concerning.
That was a
Piggies
solid
would
bit.
oink, 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 eat it up. Wow. So anyway, I was listening to this podcast the other day and they were talking about ghosts, and I realized I don't think I've ever asked you guys if you believe in ghosts or we've ever talked about like paranormal ghost
Believe
stories.
and respect.
You do?
I do not mess with anything in that realm.
Okay.
I would never listen. How many horror movies
I'm
have
listening.
you seen
Lots.
where it starts off by them being fucking stupid and arrogant and them doing like Bloody Mary in the mirror because they think it's not fucking real?
They are,
And then
they
they
are
all
movies.
die.
I will clarify that they're movies.
Yeah, these
That's
fictional
not gonna
horror
be
movies.
me.
This is, yeah, you're right.
That's
we should
not
really
gonna
be
be me.
shaping our
I wouldn't
behavior
take
based
the
on
risk. Why
fiction.
take the risk?
Sure.
I don't have
Okay,
anything to
wow.
back it up besides the fact that I'm just generally a very cautious person. And there is no benefit I would gain by saying that I don't believe in them. There is only negative things to gain from saying that I don't believe in them, because if they were real, then they would torment me.
Honestly, it's a question of practicality.
It is a question of practicality.
Your belief
question
and
of
respect
safety.
for the spiritual realm
Alayna,
is
do
a
you
question
believe
of
in ghosts?
practicality. I don't. And I like don't at all. But I wish.
I want it on the record. I'm not associated with that. I am not associated with that at all.
I wish I believed in it. And I've had some weird experiences, like unexplainable experiences.
Go on.
Oh my God.
I mean, oh God. I guess the two ones that, so a while ago I bought a haunted doll, like years ago.
Oh.
Cause I'm like trying, Mac, I'm the opposite of you, where I'm trying to draw this shit in because I don't believe in it and I want to. So I'm like, please, someone show me. Someone show me that this is true.
Wow.
You fool.
Fool.
You fool.
Why would you buy a haunted doll, Alayna?
I just
We
told
can't
you
protect
because
you
I
from
want,
that. Big Daddy Benefactor can't protect you from that. Nobody
He can protect anybody from anything.
He can. He can.
He's my hero.
Not Ashley flopping the mic over her shoulder, limp wrist. Ashley goes limp wrist for Big Daddy
my
Benefactor.
wrist is all limp from my time with Big Daddy Benefactor.
I guess in the weirdest, so I have two kind of like very strange, or the ones that stick with me. Back in high school, there was like maybe a year period where three separate, well, how much detail do you want me to go into with this?
All of it.
Enough that I can still sleep at night.
All of it.
All of it. Okay. Because I'm like, these could be, I don't know how long these stories will take if I go into all of it, but okay. So this all started, I was staying over at a friend's house for night, which later found out that her whole family believed that this house was haunted. Didn't know this at the time.
Move. Why wouldn't they move?
It's not that simple, Mac. And the basement was like, you came down the stairs and then there was this hallway with rooms on either side of the hallway, and that was the basement. And there was a mirror at the end of the hallway.
Always
And
a mirror.
the room that we stayed in was at the end of the hallway to the right? That was her room. So we had our sleepover, whatever. I woke up in the morning and I was alone in the room. And so I was like, oh, shoot, my friend went upstairs for breakfast, whatever. And I walk out of the bedroom and I'm walking down the hall and I hear someone run up behind me and go in my ear. And so I turn around, right? Because I'm like, I was like, oh, my friend came running up behind me and is like gonna, I don't know, jump on me or something, because I heard the running and then I heard this in my ear. So I turn around and there's the mirror there, right? And there's nobody there. There's nobody in the mirror. There's nobody in the hallway. My first thought is that she's pranking me and she's like jumped into one of the side rooms because like the hallway had a bunch of rooms on either side. So I'm like, ha ha ha, like, where'd you go? And I'm like looking in all these rooms. She's nowhere. There's nobody down there.
How old are you?
This would have been like grade 11. So I would have been maybe 16, 17.
Okay, and what phase of the moon is it?
I couldn't tell you. So I go upstairs and I'm like shaken. Like I'm like, what is happening? I go upstairs. Her whole family's up there having breakfast, sitting at the table. There's nobody else in the house.
Did they already tell you that they thought the house was haunted?
So she had, not that the house was haunted, but her and I had been swapping scary stories the night before.
Okay.
So she had told me some pretty scary stuff.
You're
we
primed.
need to be logical here.
I was primed, yes.
There is likely always an explanation for something odd like this occurring. However, I feel like I might throw up.
So I'm not done. So this happens. We have breakfast, whatever. I tell her later what happened, and she's like, oh, yeah, the house is haunted, whatever. I'm
Whatever.
like, well, I don't know. We're already big into horror movies. Like, this was just a part of our, I don't know. We all talked about scary stuff all the time.
It's Manitoba. They have nothing going on.
We have nothing else to do.
You guys are sick.
So a couple months pass. It's winter. So there's tons of snow on the ground. And I'm going over to a different friend's place. And I park my car on their driveway. And I get out of the car. And I hear in the snow somebody run up behind me and go in my ear. And I turn around thinking it's my friend. Sorry?
Tinnitus.
Do you have tinnitus?
No.
Tinnitus.
No, I don't have
Tinnitus?
tinnitus. No, I don't.
Tinnitus. This is like, people wonder how much time they're spending on their phones. Like when you know what a word is, but you can't pronounce it because you've never spoken to a human being about it.
Well, after I look at a word and decide the spelling in my head, after I learned the correct way to say it, I can't switch it in my head.
It's
like,
hard to
always
switch.
The first way.
That was me and inventory. That word is hard for me to this day. I thought it was inventory until I said it out loud to someone and they were like, what are you talking about? It's hard to switch the emphasis on syllables.
Yeah.
So
Is it?
this one was like, so again, I turn around, there's nobody there. My friend comes out of their door and I turn around, I look at him and he's like, are you okay? Because I guess I looked really freaked out. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. The third and final time this happened, I was swimming. I was at a swimming pool with a bunch of friends. I heard a big splash behind me and this sound like, like as if someone had jumped out of the water and was about to like pounce on me. So I brace for impact. Nothing happens. Turn around. There's nobody there. And that's it. That's the last time that ever happened. But the weird thing that sticks with me is the fact that it happened 3 times.
Sure.
If it was just once at the house,
What
I could
was
be
the
like,
time
oh, I was
span?
just. I'm gonna say this was within 6 months to a year.
Okay. That's
And then it stopped,
decently
and it-
long.
Then it never happened again.
Like, if you were going to tell me it was all in the same couple weeks, I'd be like, okay, you're probably just nervous. But this is
Alayna's still nervous. Alayna's been nervous this entire time.
I've been nervous since the day you met me.
well, I don't know that you should have talked about it. And I hope that this doesn't virtually transfer.
I think this was so long ago. I don't think. But yeah,
You know how
I don't
ghosts,
know.
they're not immortal or anything. They don't live forever.
So that was probably one of the ones that
That
sticks
ghost
out
is
to
probably
me.
dead now.
Yeah, the
so
ghost
long
has probably
ago.
moved on. We're hoping.
I
Maybe
will
it went-
say, if I was a ghost, nothing would piss me off more than humans gaslighting me and telling me I wasn't real. So just keep that in mind. If, for your sake, if I was you, I would say it even if I didn't believe it. I'd be like, I see you. You're valid.
Yeah, you
You're
know,
real.
right. No disrespect to if you're out there, no disrespect. I wish I had some more, I don't know, I wish I had something irrefutable.
Don't prompt them to prove that they're real. That was like an invitation.
I've been inviting.
The thing is that Alayna's already having nightmare after nightmare about massive spiders.
That's true.
Like,
yeah,
I don't
spiders
think
is a
that you would
recurring-
even be able to tell that the ghost was there versus your everyday life.
So what about the doll?
The ghosts are already
Yeah.
in you.
So yeah,
The demons live inside
they've
of
always
you,
been
Alayna.
with me. Well, that was when I first started having the hallucinations. My friends wanted me to like go to the church and like talk to the pastor because they thought I was possessed.
That makes
I was
it like
like, oh
10
my
times
God.
scarier.
I'm possessed. And then I went to a therapist,
you
and they
think
were like,
that-
"No, you have a sleeping disorder." And I was like, "Thank God."
No, I would never go to a pastor about something like that. Women get burned all the time. I don't need to be another woman getting burned. Although I have been.
but this was
Honestly, I
before.
have been a woman that has been burned.
She's got a point there.
Yeah, but I didn't. That when it started happening was junior high. I was still deep in church at that point, so it wasn't like, "Oh, let me not do this because I'll get burned." It was more like, now I'm extra afraid because, well, and then I had. Anyway, that's a whole other. Yeah, the sleep thing is a whole other thing.
Mac, have you ever seen a ghost?
Yeah.
No. No, but I remember.
Did you just meow?
Yeah, it's like,
Meow.
meow. Meow.
Not purposefully.
Are you trying to get Big Baddy Daddy Benefactor to make you his little kitten?
Oh, Ashley.
Don't
This is our
get
child.
me. Don't
This is our
get me.
child.
Meow, Big Baddy.
I've never seen a ghost, but in the movies.
1 in 5 Americans have learn a new language on their bucket list. If that's you, make 2024 the year that you finally check it off the list with Babel. I have been using Babel to practice my French for like a year now at least, and it is easily my favorite language learning app that I've used. The courses are convenient and bite-sized, and they focus on real-life conversation skills so that you can learn how to actually speak and understand whatever language it is that you want to learn, rather than just read and write. Be a better you in 2024 with Babel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really even help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. It's designed by real people for real conversations. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. So here is a special limited time deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/chosen. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/chosen. Spelled BABBEL.com/chosen. Rules and restrictions may apply. Ashley, what about you? Have you ever
No.
had a no?
No,
Well,
my
I guess
mother.
I'll have to tell another one.
My mother swears that she saw a ghost in the home we grew up in, but no, and here's where I get weird. I'm like, that is not real.
Mm-hmm.
None of that is real. But if you tell me that you like know someone who like sees ghosts or whatever, I'll be like, that's real.
Okay.
She can do that
So you think it's a case by case
because I know
thing.
her personally and I want to see her do it. And then I'll believe that until it no longer serves me. And then I'll be like, this is fake. I think it's that I think it's fun,
Yeah, I think it's fun too.
but I think really at the end of the day, it's not real. I'd like it to be real. I think that'd be cool.
I know. I wish it was.
I think that,
I wish I could believe in it.
yeah, I think that the miracle of life on a planet in the middle of the universe is ghost enough. How crazy is that? That we are alive, burning our only planet.
God. Oh my God.
That's where like my like spirituality exists. Like in the miracle of life and like our self-awareness. That's pretty cool. Consciousness, pretty neat. But ability to commune together. Whoa.
Trees. Pretty
trees,
fantastic.
Fucking crazy.
Crazy.
Tree consciousness with mushrooms.
Yep.
Lyceum or whatever it's called. Fucking rad.
I'm with you.
Beautiful.
Preach.
Yeah. That's my choir. The fucking trees talking to each other.
The wind through their leaves.
Yeah. Wind.
You know what's just so
That's
jarring
my
about
hymn.
it is that
That's my hymn.
if a ghost popped up, they don't follow our rules.
Yeah, that's
don't,
what's scary about it. Yeah.
like, I would have no idea how to handle that. They do not do the things that we do. I would have no idea what their plans were, what their
plans
personality
were.
is like.
Where are they getting dinner and at what time?
I wouldn't know anything. Like, can they go through walls? Can they just like what can they do? And also, how do I stop them?
I think that's how I feel. That kind of dread feeling, I only experience in big weather events. Like when there's like a big storm or an earthquake or something that feels similar, where it's completely out of our control. You don't know what's going to happen next. There's no logic to it. That scares me.
Yeah. When we had our first earthquake here
dread.
that I felt, I was absolutely terrified. I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, we were on the podcast like the next day, I think.
Probably.
You said you cried during a test.
I just sat there. I had no idea what to do. Like, what are you supposed to do? And then my girlfriend told me what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to get under the fucking counter, but it's fine.
There was an earthquake last year when I was in Mexico, and I was outside, like sitting on a bench, and I felt it. I don't think I've ever felt an earthquake before. And it was so foreign and like unbelievable to me that I was like, oh, that's the subway system. Like a train must have just gone underneath me.
At the beach?
How big was it?
No, I was on a bench in town, but like in a little town in Mexico, like that barely had Wi-Fi. And I'm like,
I feel that when
system.
I lived on the 8th floor of my building, I could feel the subway in the coffee table going by.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Only in the coffee table.
Huh.
How big was the earthquake, Alayna?
It wasn't too big. It was then like I went back to the apartment that we were staying at, and my girlfriend was like, did you feel the earthquake? There was whatever. I don't remember. And I was like, oh my God. It didn't even register. I don't know. It was just so far from my like usual reality that it didn't even register that there was no subway underneath me. The haunted doll. Do you guys want another story?
Yeah.
Everything
Mac?
I learn about ghosts is against my will. But go on.
Well, so then the other one and I have I don't know how many of them are still up, but I have a whole series on my YouTube channel with the haunted doll where I went over like everything that was happening. Cause like she was moving around. She was like doing all sorts of funny little tricks.
She was moving around?
Yeah. But I'm like, it must have been my cat.
You are way too casual, dude.
She was doing all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, like there was when I first kind of got her, we had a bunch of friends over one night, and I like showed her to them, and we were like talking about it, and we're playing around with whatever, we're talking about scary stuff, and I put her back, and then we left, and I don't know, we went and got ice cream or something. We came back.
Your
and
friend
she was, like,
pranked you, dude.
She was like in the living room.
No, your friend pranked you.
I was the last one to leave. I was the
think
last one
that.
to leave the
You
apartment.
think that because they pranked you and they got you.
I
Or
don't
your
think
parents
so.
heard you talking.
Where did you get the doll, and how did you know that the doll was haunted?
I bought the doll online from somebody who claimed to sell haunted things. And she like sent me a whole thing about the doll
That's
and whatever.
bullshit.
Probably.
Great marketing campaign.
Probably. Where is she? Oh, she's in the closet back there.
Oh, you kept
name's-
her.
Oh yeah, her name's Anna. She's in the closet.
If you told me her name was Emily, I was gonna lose my fucking mind.
No, it's Anna. I wish it was Emily. But
Dude.
the weirdest one, and I don't know that this has anything to do with her specifically, but it was after I got the doll, was in the apartment I used to live in. It was like if you imagine a square, right? And then you can walk fully around the square, and the kitchen is kind of in the middle. So there was like a wall in the middle of the room that had the stove and the counter
Got
on
it.
the one side of
Yeah.
it, and you could fully walk around.
Yeah.
And then I had like a little nook where I had my desk kind of off the edge of the square. There was like a little nook popping off of the main square that I had my desk at. And I was sitting at my desk one day, working or whatever, and I heard the light switch in the little dining area, which was on the other side of the room, on the other side of the, like if you think of the square, and my desk, let's say, is on the left-hand side of the square, the dining room was on the right-hand side, dining area. I heard a light switch flick and the dining room light turned on. And I was like, "Ooh," like that gave me the creeps because I was home alone. But I was like, but I couldn't see into the kitchen side from my nook. And I was like, oh, the cat must have been on the counter and like hit the light switch. And that's what must have turned the dining room light on. And I even have footage of this because I started recording because I was making a series about the doll at this point. So I start recording myself. I'm real freaked out because I'm thinking, okay, it's got to have been the cat in the kitchen. But there's also a little part of me that's like, someone is in the kitchen because I just heard that light switch flick and the light is on now. Like there's somebody there. So I like creep my way around into the kitchen. Nobody's there, obviously. And also I realize the light switch is not even on that side of the wall. The light switch is on the other side of the wall where there's no counter. There's nothing underneath it. There's no way that my cat could have flicked the switch. But it's just like the subway thing where I feel an earthquake and my brain's like, there's a subway underneath me. It was the same thing where I heard the light switch. I saw the light go on and I was like, it's like my brain immediately created an explanation, which is that the light switch is above the counter and the cat flicked it. So I'm freaked out, right? Because I'm like, this light just turned on by itself, not just like some sort of electrical short circuit or something. I heard the switch flick, right? And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Whatever. Later, I don't know if it was that night or the next day, I had a friend over and okay, how did this go? I have to remember this exactly so I don't mess this up.
Mac is so upset.
I had a friend over and we watched a movie that night, right? Whatever, we watched the movie, go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and I go to turn the TV on and the TV is not working. And I'm like, why won't the TV turn on? This is so weird. There's another light switch on the other side of the wall that controls the power outlet.
Yeah.
That the TV is. And I'm like, no way. There's absolutely no way. Sure enough, that light switch is flicked off.
And you don't
Did you
touch
check your fuse box?
I never no, I do not touch that light switch because all it does is control the TV.
Yeah.
I watched a movie the night before. That switch was on when I went to bed.
My buddy Sam does a really funny joke about this because he's like, why are ghosts so petty? Like, why do they only communicate through like flicking the lights? Like
Mac looks like she's about to puke.
They're supernatural. Like they can do
disturbed.
anything, and they're like, "Let me turn the lights off and then back on." It's such a great joke. If you're in LA, his show is so funny and moving. It'll be on in late August or September, I think. Sam Morrison, he's gay. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Can I tell you my weird story?
Please.
Mine's short. Don't worry.
Please.
This is just funny to me.
I love ghost stories.
I worked on a robotics project at MIT when I was working there, and we had a pack bot. Let me see what they cost today. At the time, they're like $100. I don't even know if they make them anymore, but if you want to Google pack bot just so that you can see what they look like, they're like $100,000 robot.
Pack bot?
Oh, cute.
Pack like P-A-C-K? Or?
Yeah. About $100,000 to $200,000. So it's this like $100,000 robot that we get to play with, which is super cool. They're cool. They're the shit. They use them to like defuse bombs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So we were working late on this project, and the next day, but separate from each other, because like my friend Nick is in the area where the pack bot is, and I'm just working in my office. And I came in the next day, and he comes up to me and he goes, the pack bot turned itself on. Which, if you are into robotics or computer science at all, should be the most frightening sentence.
That's like,
that doesn't scare me.
That scares me so. What?
What? No, that should scare you.
That is the scariest. That is in our reality.
That doesn't freak me out because it's just like
wrong with you.
Robots.
My brain is like
having no
control.
I never said that robots don't scare me, but that to me, my brain just tells me.
This is the definition of a robot doing the scariest thing that it can do.
Scare me.
It achieved consciousness. That's crazy.
Okay. That's crazy. Wait, so is that the whole story? So the robot turned itself on. Then what happened?
It was actually so scary to me hearing him say, "No, this guy is not." He's an engineer. He is not a ghost story person. He's like, well, the pack bot turned itself on. What? No,
is he
I don't
a prankster?
think so. And I just fully had to be like, it was so scary to me, you guys, that I had to fully be like, there is no way that thing turned itself on. Yeah. You were there late. You are delusional. That was I had to say that because
that's how it feels. It feels like that has to be true.
Was so crazy.
So what did he do when it turned itself on? Then what did he do? We just
went about our business. I don't remember.
What did he do in the moment when? Yeah, please, because that's how do you even respond? Like if I'm working late and a robot turns itself on in my vicinity, I'm out of there. I'm leaving.
I need you to like really, really think about like imagine a remote control car with no batteries in it.
No, but you guys didn't even listen to my reasoning. It's not scary to me because there's somebody else in the room. And you're in a lab. So I'm like, robot. It's reasonable that something else could have happened. With Alayna's story, it scared me because she was alone.
What? No. This is a complete lack of scientific understanding. What else could have happened that turned a robot on?
It's just Sam
the guy could have turned it on.
His name is Nick, but that's okay.
Oh,
no, he didn't turn it on. It has a switch.
He could be a prankster.
That's
not scary to me because there's another person in the room. So it's like, unless you saw the robot turn itself on.
There's not another person in the room. It's just Nick and the robot.
I thought Ashley was in the room.
No, I'm not.
No, Nick told her later.
It's still less scary to me because it's not a firsthand experience. Alayna's is like she's in the room and watches the light turn on and she knows she's alone. If somebody came up to me and was like, the TV just turned itself on.
What happened to him? He just did that. And a TV turning itself on, by the way, is not nearly as scary because a TV is connected to a consistent power source. It's connected to the wall. There might have been some kind of surge that malfunctioned the thing. The robot turning itself on is a crazy thing.
It's like, did he just turn it off then and that was it? Like, and
I don't know.
I need to know
when
what
my phone comes back on.
No, I don't. One time our generator in the building,
sorry,
like the power went out.
I told you it was a total lack of understanding.
That's okay.
One time the power went out in our building and then so that's already, you're like, oh, that's kind of freaky. All the lights are out. It's nighttime. And then there's these generators that I didn't know existed in the building that are like, you can hear them, but you hear them from outside. They started up. I didn't know what it was. It was just this loud, like rumbling sound. The first thing that came to my mind is like, this is AI. The robots are coming for us. Like, we're done. This is
My
over.
thing with AI is like, nobody is asking for this. Does this ever piss you guys off? Like, whenever I see all of the stuff that's going on with AI, and then
They are
there's just
asking for it. They are.
who? The corporations?
Yeah, certain corporations.
Yeah,
That's
but like,
that's
the
why the
people don't want
Writers
it.
Guild had to like, and the Actors Guild had to fight for not using AI to like replace extras and like certain types of scripts and stuff like that, because
That's what I mean, though. Like, I know corporations want it because obviously then they can, you know, they don't have
It's
to
all
work with
about
as many
profit.
people. They save money.
Yeah.
But like, people don't want it. Regular
Yeah,
old people
but
don't want it. I don't want it. Nobody I've talked to about it
we're
wants
back
it.
at the people over profit.
And there's
profit
just
over
like nothing
people
you can do.
argument.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. It's the same with climate. It's the same with, it's like
Yeah.
this very small minority is making these decisions that are going to impact the majority in the planet. And there's like nothing. It feels quite, I don't like to think about it too much because then I feel
I also
helpless.
like, I don't understand why we're at a point with phones, social media, misinformation that no one seems to want to. It's like cigarettes. Like I'm so shocked people just like don't care. Like, it's so weird to me.
What do you mean?
Like
About
that
which
we
part?
know that girls we know that anxiety, depression, mental illness is affecting this generation at like an alarming rate, and we know it's the phones, and we know that in so many different ways, but like just so concretely, like Instagram makes girls feel bad about themselves. Like, we know
Yeah,
that.
right.
And yet no one is like, no one under 18 should be on this. Like, this should be a fully brain
controlled
It's
substance.
I'm not even joking. I really think it should be. And there's so many ways to make it better that we don't do. Like, we don't enforce a lack of anonymity. That would really help the internet a lot if everyone
Totally.
Right.
had one account
Yeah.
and it was them and you knew it was them. No one would treat people the way they treat people on the internet if it was
Yeah.
linked back to their personhood. Like, it's so strange to me that, and also like limiting time. Like, you shouldn't just be allowed to like endlessly comment on things and endlessly watch and like, it's just so strange.
I like to think that there are people out there doing this work. Because
Definitely.
it can't be us. Like, we
I
can't.
wrote instant response. Do you remember the time you told me the PackBox turns itself on? I think about it every day.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. I would be like, well, I'm building a bunker. Like, I can't think about that actually for another second. Mac, did you find a question?
I did.
This man is a genius, by the way. He like works for Google X. He's like one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He is so Google X is like their secret lab where they like work on all the crazy stuff.
Okay.
He has a PhD from MIT. He's like so smart.
Wow. Yeah. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have so you can start living your best life.
Finding a therapist you click with can be really difficult and make the entire process way more stressful than it needs to be. One of my favorite parts about using BetterHelp was being able to switch therapists anytime and for any reason. Being in therapy to help manage stress is great and was really helpful for me, but only if it doesn't bring me any extra stress.
If you are thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, convenient, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/chosenfamily today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/chosenfamily.
The question is, how
Where'd
do
you
I
get the
tell...
question from?
I got the question from the Discord, which you can join from our Patreon.
Patreon.com/chosenfamilypodcast.
How do I tell my family that I don't believe in God anymore? My family is completely fine with me not being straight, and most of them don't even go to church, but they firmly believe that there is a God, and I know they would freak out if I told them I'm no longer a believer. I know that I don't really have to tell them, but I really want to at least tell my mom because I'm really close with her. And aside from this, I tell her everything. Any advice you would have would be greatly appreciated.
I think it's interesting that they said, I know I don't have to tell them, because I was going to be like, you don't have to tell them.
Yeah, but if she wants to,
Well, I just want to know why.
maybe just to not have to lie by omission or play along
guess,
in
I
ways that you
guess.
don't.
It's kind of
that feels
exhausting
really
to play along for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would try to, I don't know. My first thought is to have something ready to kind of explain to them where you fill that cup for yourself, like kind of the way that Ashley was talking about, like the miracle of life and the beauty of trees and this planet and the incredible. I wonder, and I don't know this, but I wonder if it would kind of soften the blow of saying, I don't believe in this God that you believe in, but, you know, I do believe in, you know, or I am full of the beauty of the world, and I want to live my life with kindness and all these things that kind of are what I think Christianity and religion are supposed to, or kind of was what the purpose of them really is kind of this moral, ethical guidelines. Some people, I think that the fear, other than the fear that you would be now going to hell, aside from that, which I don't know that you can necessarily would be able to assuage that, the fear is that you would be living some sort of like lawless, empty, isolated
I love
life.
the way that Penn and Teller talk about, or it's just Penn because Teller doesn't talk, but have you heard him talk about his atheism and morality?
No.
He, just to put it in like a sentence, he basically says, and I think a lot of atheists believe this, LOL, that like the idea that you need a book or like a guy to tell you what's right and wrong is sort of insane. Like,
It is crazy.
You should just kind of have some sense of morality just from being a fellow human being or fellow living.
Like, I know
thing.
not to hit people because if someone hits me, it causes me physical pain.
Yes.
So I shouldn't hit other people.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of stuff.
Not because you're going to be punished by the man in the sky and
Yes,
sent to burn in hell for eternity.
Whenever I hear stuff like this, I mean, I understand she wants to tell them that she doesn't, and I don't really relate to that because the thing that I kind of do in my head is I have people in my life who are very passionate about their belief in God, not necessarily religion, but their belief in God. And I can completely understand that. I don't have very strict beliefs, but I mean, I do think there's something personally out there, whether it's like the universe or, you know, a little bit of biology. I don't know. But I do believe there's something
here and there.
So whenever I hear people like talk about God, in my head, I just kind of make the translation of like everybody has, or a lot of people have a God. And there are so many different religions and gods that people believe in this country and all over the world. I just make the translation that like we're thinking of the same person, it just has a different name. And whatever the name is, whether you think it's multiple people, whether you don't believe in it at all, like it's kind of what you were saying, Alayna, about just like the essence of believing in the beauty of the world and the beauty of life and all of that. So I never like told my family that I don't believe in God, and I just kind of make that translation in my mind when they're talking to me about something they're passionate about, and when other people do as well, pending it's not something, you know, homophobic or negative or something that I really strongly don't agree with. But when it's just like a passionate discussion or sharing something out of love, it kind of goes through that filter in my head of like, we're thinking of the same thing and we're thinking of like the same love. And the same life and the beauty of that. It just has a different name. It just goes by a different name.
I do think that. Sorry, Alayna, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that I think that what you just described is a nice way, if this person who's asking the question, if they can kind of encapsulate that feeling and that translation into the discussion with your parents, where you're not coming at it from a place of this thing you believe in is stupid, it's harmful, like let me try and now also dissuade you. But if you come at it from what Mac, if you can come at it from a place of we're actually more similar than we are different, I think that might be a helpful kind of framing.
Yeah, I understand it can also be very difficult, though, depending on your religion, because the basis of a lot of religions, and I know this from the one that I was raised in, is that, like, one of the most important things is your declaration and your commitment to saying, this person who I believe in is God. There's no other God.
The one
true
insecure
God.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I understand that they could be struggling with that as well. And I feel like that makes it just like more nuanced and difficult to discuss. But hopefully there's something in this discussion that we're having that can be helpful.
Really hard for me because when I tell people that my God is Big Baddie Daddy Benefactor, no one takes me seriously just because it's a silly name. And it's like, you don't think God sounded silly when you think Jesus Christ sounded like a silly name when it started?
Yeah.
Big Baddie Daddy Benefactor is my Lord, and I worship
And Savior.
him. And praying to him,
I was going to say, do you pray to him at night before you go to sleep?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. I do think there's also like a little bit, just to play a different side of it, like there's a little bit of radical acceptance here that like they're not gonna like this, and does this even matter? Like, as long as you can't control what other people think of your belief system, is it worth creating any kind of chaos? I don't know. I mean, like, you could do it so lightly. There's no reason that it has to be like a big coming out thing. It could just be the next time they pray, you like don't do it, and they're like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, like they, I don't know.
See, that feels even bigger. That feels bigger to me. Yeah, like coming from a religious background. If you would choose to just not pray along with the group, that would be like a pretty major thing to
I've done that
rebellion.
So many times with my extended family, like, and they're all looking down. I don't even think they really notice that I'm just kind of standing there.
Well, sometimes what I'll do is I'll kind of do my own. It's like, Mac, what you were saying, like I almost translate it in my mind as like a moment of gratitude or mindfulness or whatever it is, not necessarily tied to the religion that they're talking about.
I know you have to go, Alayna, so
I do have to
be
go.
like Big Baddie Daddy Benefactor, and you can ask your questions in our
private Discord that you can access through our Patreon,
which is now named Big Baddie Daddy Benefactor Discord. In his honor.
Okay, thanks for listening, everybody.
Guys.
We'll talk to you next week.
What do we eat?
Oh, right, what do we eat? We can't have the blood of Christ again.
Yeah, we can't have that twice.
What did
Big
we
Baddie
this
Daddy
time?
Benefactors.
Oh, Ashley.
Well,
thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Chosen Family is a Forever Dog production, hosted by Ashley Gavin, Alayna Joy, and Mac INGEMI. Edited by Danny Jewell, executive produced by Mariah Nicholas. Forever Dog Productions is Joe Cilio, Alex Ramsey, and Brett Boehm.
Forever.